Okay, so our next step in understanding animation, I will show you another technique we can try as well. The last technique I showed, we were simply on a one video layer, and by using our onion skin tool, we were able to work on that single layer and draw each single frame in like so. A different technique as well we can try is using different layers for each frame. So right here I have a doc already created, used standard sizing, kept it not too big because again it is going to be a large file. I went to Window, Timeline, and I'm just going to create a video timeline for myself. So right off the bat, I'm going to zoom out just to see right now, this is at 5 frames per second. At 5 seconds right there. So 5 frames. So first thing I'm going to do is before I do anything, I'm going to go into my timeline frame rate, and I'm just going to switch the frame rate right now down to 24, making it a little simpler for myself. Okay, so right now my layer 0 is my background, and I'm going to make a new layer to work on. So I will create a new layer, and layer 1 is right above it. What we're going to be doing is each single layer that we work on is going to be a single frame. So right now, this in total would be more than a single frame. I'm going to actually bring this down. And if I zoom in now, I can say that this frame is actually going to be 2 frames. And I'm going to just keep it there for now, just so it's not every single 1, 2, 3, 4, just to make it a little easier for myself. So this layer right now is 2 frames worth. So if I have my first image on here, let's see, I'm just going to make a little smiley face. So got that. And then using my brush, I'm going to go down and give him there we go. Happy little smiley face. So right now, if I were to play, it would just be that one single frame. What I want to do now is I want to add another layer or another frame into it. So before, what we were doing was we were just working on a single layer, so we could simply just use our keyboard to go from one frame to another to another. However, in this method, we have to make a new layer for ourselves. When it makes the new layer, it automatically puts it above, but I'm going to bring this down so it's on the same layer as that. And now we are in a video group. And that's helpful because now what we do is every time we add a new layer, it will always be in that video group. The one frustrating part about this, though, is as we can tell, the first layer I did of 2 frames is a lot shorter than this. And unfortunately, there's no real way of fixing that. We just have to literally shorten it every single time we add a new layer. So it's a little annoying, but that's okay. So I'm going to zoom in and just make sure again, I'm going to keep each one of these layers at 2 frames. So 0, 0, 2, 0, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. So the same concept as yesterday's is that I can also still do my onion skin. So with my onion skin enabled, I can now go to my next layer. However, one of the other frustrating parts about this is that I can go, but it won't let me do anything. And that's because the timeline playhead is not over the target layer in the timeline. What that essentially means is this target playhead right now is over that first layer. If I want to go into my next one, I have to move it physically into the next one. So going back, I'm going to be making my smiley face actually turning into a frown. So line that up, make sure it's the right color, like that. And then, okay, black eye, I'm just going to do a subtle animation just sort of in between where it's starting to lose that curve of the spine, just in between, like that. Okay, so now my frame will go like that. Okay. Now my next layer, again, I have to move that frame rate over here. And then just like before, I can then make my image. So again, okay. So right now what I'm going to do is I am going to bring down this end of work area just so I can just focus in on what I currently have animated. So it's only going to play what's in this section. So now by turning off the onion skin, I can now see this is my animation. So essentially, every single frame is a different layer. And this is also kind of helpful because what I might notice is in between layer 1 and 2, maybe it goes too fast between the two. So what I can actually do is I can make a new layer that will be put in between it. I have to go in, though, and reframe it. Like that. And again, with my onion skin enabled, I can now actually see what is both before and after. So I now know I have to do something kind of in between the two of those. So it's really just paying attention to all the different layers that you have and how many frames you need. And again, like we mentioned a couple times, is that the more animations you have, the more frames, the smoother the animation will be. So now I'll go from that to that. And then maybe in between layer 2 and 3, I'll add another transition layer in between just to help make it a bit smoother of a animation. Okay, so then again, so this method again has pros and cons. So the pro is that each single layer becomes like you can work on each individual layer and keep adding or subtracting from it, giving you a lot more customization and the ability to make it a bit smoother. And so now when I play the animation that I have, and again, disable onion skin. It's a lot smoother of an animation than it was before. Something else we can do as well is maybe at the end, I want to keep on that frame for a little bit longer. And I could simply just take that and increase the frame. So now when it plays, it's going to last longer on that last frame. And then vice versa with here. Maybe I want each frame to be a little bit longer. Like that. Nope. Oh no, I think I deleted a layer. There we go. So now my animation is just like that. So it's a lot of playing around with layers, but that is the other method that we can use for animation. So once you try out the video layer, we're also going to have a chance to try out this method using different layers to beat each individual frame.